Well, I'll have people say to me all the time, how's things going? And I'll generally, just jokingly, a lot of times say, could always be worse. It could always be worse. I have, all the time I have people ask me, not all the time, but some of our clients had just asked me, with everything going on, why do you take the time to go out and go down to Kentucky to go, with the Wildcat Colts? Surely the food isn't that good that you're going to drive, 4+ hours to go with 2 horses and $10,000 stake races just to leave. Well, now you know. Steady Volo, I think, can we tinker with his gear? Yes, but he's just a big growthy colt. He's finding that outside knee a little bit more. I don't think he did it much today. I haven't talked to Dexter, and we'll get to that in a second. But he will find that outside knee, and the problem is that he's this big, gigantic colt. He's like a big teddy bear, and he just hasn't put it all together yet. And I had messaged Daniel and said, you know what? This is the time of the year where they can do it or they cannot. Now, I wish we had more that could do it, or we're doing it, or are going to do it right now. But the reality is, if they can't, you should never, ever go down that road where, you start crossing that threshold from the square peg and the round hole, forcing it. And I've had people message me, good, smart people have been in the game for a long time, say, one today had asked me, hey, would you be opposed to just trying Solidarity in a maiden, just so we can get a 2-year-old mark on them? And quite frankly, it's the answer I give everybody. When the stables racing poorly, and it doesn't happen very often, but it is the case right now. You're trying to look long term, right? The long game is what I was going to say. And when it comes to these horses, we have some talented horses. Some of them aren't as talented this second as we want them to be, but they're talented horses. And trying to force them into winning a race or putting them in a better spot, a different spot. It's not like a racehorse, right? The change of scenery doesn't work for the babies the same way it does for the aged horses a lot of the time. And they're very fair questions. This isn't me saying, well, you should know better. No, these are fair questions, especially now. But we have to do what's right for all the horses right now and give them an opportunity to be the best horses they can. Whether we want them to or whether they want to or not right now, we have to give them the opportunity to mature properly. And you saw Hanger today, the show he put on, right? That's why I came to Lexington, because he is not an easy horse to drive. I can assure you, Austin, great kid, great, like 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation, I don't know. Great horse people, the entire family. But to ask that young man to be put in that position was not fair. I tried my best. I'm always have that voice in my head saying, don't say too much, just shut your mouth and let them drive. And then the other voice saying, well, you better tell him. He can act up a little bit. He's a little rowdy, but once he gets in the race, he's usually pretty good. Last thing I want, all that is going on. Just let me tell you what has gone on, all right? So my plan was to rent the car, drive to the Poconos, race the horses, hopefully do some good, get up in the morning with the kids, fly to it's a flight, Chicago to Lexington. We get up at 4 o'clock, the kids bounced, they were good as gold. Flew all the way to Chicago, we all slept on the plane the whole way there. Got out Chicago, I got Starbucks, they got McDonald's, walked down to our gate, everything was going great. We actually got on our plane. Let me rewind just for a second. Forgot about this little nugget. So we get to the track, I race Tim's horse first. She does as good as she can do. She raced okay. Addie, I want the kids to have a good time. So I said, you know what? Let's go get our boarding passes, because they kept saying there was an error when we were trying to check in. I just didn't want any screw ups at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I said, let's go get our boarding passes at the airport. We'll go check into the hotel. We'll get ice cream, and I'll come back and drive race 10 and race 12. Go to the airport, went perfect. Super nice gentleman. He said, no problem. No problem at all. Got us the tickets. Everything went perfect. Am I in the right place? Yeah, I am. Everything went perfect. Go to the hotel. Go to check in. We're getting a little tight for time, so I didn't want to skip the ice cream. So I checked in, but we didn't go up to our room. Check in. Lady was nice. Got us our hotel room. I put Poconos in. As we start back, I know we're not far away, but as we start back, I'm not familiar with the area we're in. I've been to the Poconos 10, 20 times. I'm not familiar with this area. So I pull over and I put it in I look at my GPS. I exit it. I put Mohegan Sun Poconos. It pops up. I'm now 14 minutes away. Well, race 8 just ended. Ice cream is now on hold. I start back towards the track and I'm starting to panic a little bit because you're not really supposed to leave the track, right? I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was trying to save myself time. I had lots of time. But I can't call the judges and tell them, hey, you know, when I was there for race 4, I just scooted out for a little bit and I'm not going to be there for the 10th. That would be problematic and it would be a bad look. So I'm rushing back. We're in this neighborhood and I'm going through and there's a stop sign every 5 steps. I'm getting mad. I roll up to the stop sign. I go to roll through the stop sign. I look left. I look right. There's a police officer right there. Pulls me over. Gives me a ticket for rolling through a stop sign. You know, he wasn't mean. I did roll through the stop sign. There's no two ways about that. And he said, where are you in such a rush to? I said, I'm really sorry. This is going to sound stupid. I'm in the next race at the Poconos. It says I'm 7 minutes away now. He said, well, what are you going to do? So he writes the ticket up. It says, I'm 7 minutes away, and now race 9 is post-graded. So I can't continue to rush around through the neighborhood. So I got to stop sign, get on the highway. I get there. There is 6 minutes to post in race 10 when I walk in to the driver's room with my street clothes on. Throw my suit on quick, go outside, and then obviously you know what happened. Cherry's girl walked, she tied up. And then don't ask again. You know, I have to always, we talk about expectations, right? And I have to revisit my own sometimes. The mile at the Poconos was the fastest mile of Don't Ask Again's life. I don't think she raced great. I don't think she was particularly awesome. Tim said she didn't stretch out really good to pee. For you horsemen out there, you know what I'm getting at. She too could have tied up, waiting for the blood work to come back on her also. But this was an extension of a horrible 2 weeks. So it just feels like somebody just continues to pour water on you. So I said, you know what? At the very least, I'm going to make the rest of my weekend about my kids. I said, you know, kids, we're going to get up. Addie was most excited about the airplanes. She doesn't really get to go on many airplanes unless we go away on vacation. So she hasn't been on one in a while. She was excited about the airplanes. You know, Ollie, I don't know what Ollie was excited about. Airplane 2, I guess. But they got up, 4 o'clock. Get on the plane, waiting on the tarmac to push off to go to Lexington. The pilot comes over. He says, ladies and gentlemen, there's a problem with the hydraulics. We're going to have to be taxied back in. The mechanics are going to give it a quick look over and make sure everything's okay. And then we're going to probably be on our way. That lasts for 35 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to deplane. We're going to have another plane come in. Because, you know, they always have just tons of planes just kicking around doing nothing. As soon as he said that, I knew we were done. On the same flight as me, as us, was Matthias Melander, Marcus's brother. Him and Marcus run the barn. Really nice guy. Really nice people, actually. And we're just watching he had drives today, too. just watching the time tick by. Now, Steady Volo, I was disappointed because I wanted to get a firm grip on if he could trot in 56 right now, because if he can't be racing right now down here. The horses are growing faster. The divisions are getting a little deeper. People are starting to maneuver around. So I wanted to see if he could do that. Dexter Dunn drove the horse. Running in down the lane. Didn't look like he was trotting right. I had texted Daniel, the owner of Steady Volo, after and said, would you mind if we just castrated him and kicked him out? You know, now we're trying to look at what we have, trying our hardest not to be in that situation of the, as I just said, the square peg in the round hole. If they got to go out, get them out, fine. They're not dead. They're coming back. The maidens are going to win maidens in December or January or February. We're going to get a great look at them. There's not going to be a problem in that regard. But I want to make sure we're doing the right thing. Now, I still have 2 hours for Hanger 1. That was my biggest concern. And I see them delay, 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 and then all of a sudden it dawns on me. I'm not going to be able to make it for this horse. And I look at the program. This is not an easy horse to go with. This is not a catch driver's horse. And I don't mean that as the catch drivers. That's not what I mean. What I mean is this is a very difficult horse for me to explain to you what he could do, what he might do, and what he likely will do, and how you could possibly mitigate that. And I don't know how he's going to respond to having another driver on him. Didn't take long to figure that out, and I did it. Looked like the Calgary Stampede in behind the gate. And that horse knows better. But I just think he was not prepared. The horse was not prepared to have somebody else drive him today, I believe. He just wasn't. He just looked like he came unglued. Look at this kid. That is the only thing keeping me sane. That and that. Because as they go behind the gate and they race bad the last 2 weeks, and I don't remember ever having a stretch like this. Everybody has slumps. I don't care who you are. But I don't remember having a stretch like this. The biggest reason I wanted to come to Kentucky, aside from Hanger 1, was to bring them with me. School starts tomorrow, or Wednesday for them. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, I got to do something with them. So we get to Kentucky, and the races are over. We head over to the hotel. We're going to go now. I've been promising Addie we go to Tony's for a while, although I don't feel very deserving of going to Tony's tonight. She certainly does. So I'm going to head over there, get something to eat, try to put another calendar day behind me, and look forward to how we can turn this around. It will be from racing horses in where they can win, putting them in the right spot, making sure they're healthy. So it'll have to be a collaborative effort. I can't fix this on my own. It'll have to be 1, the horses, keeping the horses healthy. 2, Dr. Latessa. 3, both Jasons in Ohio. Tim in Pennsylvania. Putting the horses in where they can do. And I said that to Tim last night. I don't want to have any text messages saying, hey, the horse fits a non-winners a 9, but it's not going to go, and they're short for the non-winners a 12. No. Not until we get the ship sailing properly. You want to put them in the non-winners a 7. If they're short for the non-winners a 7, he fits a non-winners a 9. Hey, fill your boots. And that's not an admonishment of Tim, Jason, or anybody else. For the love of God, if it wasn't for Lifting Legend yesterday, it would have been... like, who would have thought of that? Who saved you? Who was the only shining point in your day? Well, that win by Lifting Legend and Damian McClellan and Clinton says a lot about how things went yesterday. On that topic, a great drive by that kid too. I didn't really know his where he came from, but I do now, and very happy that he won. I got a chance to try to collect my thoughts and congratulate Corey McPherson also on his win for the Gold Cup, and just pick my lip up. There isn't a person in this game that hasn't gone through what we're going through right now. Not one. Not an owner, not a trainer, not a driver, no one. That doesn't make it any easier. And you know what? I don't mean it as a boo-hoo, send me some Kleenex. I'm a big boy. I'll be fine. Having said that, a lot of messages come in after this morning's video. And yeah, sure, I'm down in the dumps a little bit. But you have to take the good with the bad. I say that to you. This is a roller coaster. We gotta, enjoy the peaks. Try to push through the valleys. This is a valley, mighty big one. I get it. But I gotta take some of my own advice too, right? So we're here now. Missed the races. Watched the Gong Show. But we're gonna try and salvage the rest of the evening as a family together. Give Amy, Mommy, a call in a little bit and talk to her and see how Ava's first day of school, she started school today, was. But for us, get a little bite to eat. So that's what we're going to do right now. For my partners with Hanger 1, I think I'm going to bring him back to Ohio. What's left for him here, right? That is a horse I could win a maiden with. I can't cut him. Can't castrate him. He's already castrated. So we'll probably take him back up there, reassess, race him once at the Meadows, maybe once or twice, and then go from there. Steady Volo for Daniel. I think we'll just castrate him and turn him out, and then look forward to Wednesday. So that is that. Again, I will talk to you all very soon. Tomorrow, I guess, on our way home. But stiff drink. Gonna park the car, walk to Tony's, have at least one double meal. Take care.